It started on a rainy afternoon, the kind of day when the city seemed to move slower, people huddled under umbrellas, and the air smelled of wet pavement. Mark, a single dad in his mid-30s, was rushing through the drizzle, holding his 8-year-old daughter Lily's tiny hand. They had just finished her hospital checkup, a checkup that confirmed she needed an expensive, urgent surgery for a rare heart condition. Mark had been working double shifts as a delivery driver and a part-time mechanic, but the medical bills were climbing faster than he could keep up. Every night, he'd sit at the kitchen table with unpaid bills spread out in front of him, staring at the numbers like they were a foreign language he couldn't translate. But quitting wasn't an option. Lily was his entire world. A few blocks away, in a private gym that smelled faintly of leather and chalk, Daniel Costa, BJJ black belt, self-made tycoon, and owner of half a dozen luxury hotels, was finishing his training. To the public, he was a symbol of discipline, wealth, and power. But in truth, Daniel was lonely. His success had come with a cost, sacrificed relationships, missed family moments, and a constant sense that something in his life was missing. He often tried to fill that void with adrenaline, charity events, or spontaneous acts of kindness. That day, he decided to host an open training session at his gym, just for fun. Anyone could step on the mats, whether they knew martial arts or not. Mark wasn't even supposed to be there. He had stopped by the gym to deliver a package, soaked from the rain, when he overheard Daniel laughing with his students. "Come on, man," Daniel said to him, "ever tried Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? It's just for fun." The offer seemed absurd. Mark didn't have time for games. But Lily's eyes lit up when she saw the mats. "Daddy, you should try," she said with a shy smile. And for some reason, maybe to make her laugh, Mark stepped in. The fun quickly turned into something else. Daniel, seeing the determination in Mark's eyes, decided to challenge him, not to humiliate him, but to push him. Mark, though completely inexperienced, fought with a quiet intensity, fueled by something deeper than pride. Every time he was taken down, he got back up. Every time he was locked in a submission, he found a way to twist, escape, and keep going. Daniel noticed the way Lily was cheering, her voice trembling but full of love. By the end of the session, Mark was drenched in sweat, bruised, and smiling for the first time in weeks. After the match, Daniel invited them to stay for lunch. Over sandwiches and laughter, he learned about Mark's struggles, how Lily needed surgery, how Mark had been working himself to exhaustion, and how every day felt like a race against time. Daniel didn't say much then, just listened, but something shifted in him. 2 weeks later, Mark got a call from the hospital. The surgery had been paid for in full. Anonymous donor. He didn't have to guess. Daniel appeared at the hospital that day, quietly sitting in the waiting room while Lily was in surgery. When she woke up, she whispered to Mark, "Is he my hero?" Mark, with tears in his eyes, just nodded. Months later, Lily was running around the park, her laughter carried by the wind. Daniel had become a regular part of their lives, not as a benefactor, but as a friend, a mentor, and someone who found in them the family he didn't know he needed. And Mark? He never forgot the day a stranger's invitation for fun ended up saving his daughter's life. If you believe kindness has the power to change lives, don't just watch, be part of it. Like this video, subscribe, and share this story, because someone out there might be the Daniel in another family's life. Sometimes, one small action is all it takes to change everything. Rain tapped softly against the hospital window as Mark sat beside Lily's bed, her small fingers curled around his hand. The machines hummed in steady rhythm, each beep a reassurance that she was still with him. She looked fragile under the white sheets, but her spirit hadn't dimmed. Her eyes still searched for the tall man who had appeared like a storm in their quiet lives. Daniel walked in quietly, carrying a small stuffed bear with a blue belt tied around its waist. "I thought she might need a training partner," he said with a faint smile. Lily giggled, hugging it close, the 4 tubes swaying slightly. For the next few weeks, Daniel kept showing up, not just at the hospital, but in their daily lives. He would bring fresh food when Mark had been too tired to cook, sit with Lily while Mark caught a few hours of sleep, or simply talk with Mark late into the night. They spoke about life, about losing and rebuilding, about the way hardship can strip a man bare but also reveal his truest self. One evening, after Lily's release from the hospital, they were sitting in Mark's small apartment, the sound of rain on the tin balcony roof. Daniel asked, "You ever thought about training for real?" Mark laughed. Training? I've got bills, work, a kid, there's no time. Daniel leaned forward. You had no training that day in the gym, yet you didn't quit. Not once. That's rare, Mark. You fought like you were protecting something you couldn't lose. You can't teach that. So, reluctantly, Mark began training in the early mornings, before work. It started as just another thing to survive, but over time, it became therapy, a place where the noise of worry fell silent and his strength returned.